Hello, welcome. Hello,
Hello.
Monday. Monday in Mercury in retrograde. It is a Monday. Let me tell you, it's a Monday. We have here today my sweet sister Teddy, and our sweet Christina is going to jump on in just a few moments. So we are in our last week of the microbiome reset. So we did it for almost 30 days now. And the whole idea of it is for us to be able to build habits. And that is the topic today, how to keep these habits. And also, I want to give a little bit of a highlight to Mito2Max that Dr. Watts was here last week with us talking a little bit on it and the science behind it, some of the a few changes that we've had to make it even better. And we are live in all platforms, right? Not all, but a lot of the platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, Facebook groups, YouTube. And if you want to interact with comments, you can interact on YouTube and we can see the comments on here. Welcome, Christina. So she's back. Wonderful. Um, so first, let's talk about habits, right? And I I feel like today is a perfect day to talk about that because some days you're not super inspired to do the things that usually you're set out to do. And so that's where I count on my habits instead of counting on my motivation. Because last Monday, for some reason, I wasn't very motivated. And this Monday, I'm like, okay, there's some stuff that makes me not want to show up, but then I show up anyways, right? So I think that's one of the things about creating habits for myself is you just show up, and that's already half the battle. And sometimes it's a battle. I know that a lot of the times we say, hey, it doesn't have to be a battle. And I would love to live in the unicorn world where, it's never a battle. Everything is butterflies and unicorns. But some days it's more like I'm fighting with ninjas and samurais. And that's in my DNA also. So today is one of those days. And so I counted on my habit creation that I've been doing for a few years now to show up. And another amazing thing about it too is I also spoke to a few of my friends last week about this, and they are incredible mentors. They are part of our doTERRA family. They're in corporate, and one of them takes care of the entire Taiwan and China area. And it was so inspiring to speak to him. He asked me to tell him about my story, and because he's sharing it with the teams at the Taiwan convention. And I was so honored that he asked me to speak to him about it. And he said, "Can I share your story?" I said, "Absolutely." And one of the highlights of it was what I told him was, no, I know that consistency and hard work trumps talent. I believe that. I know that because I'm a byproduct of that. So you don't have to be super talented to achieve maybe the things that you set yourself out to do. And one of the things that I feel can be a challenge for a lot of us, especially after we've had babies. And I got a few messages from yesterday and today because we had an event on Saturday that Teddy came to, and it's called Sensory. And it was a few people sent me a message saying, hey, what a great holistic experience. Other people sent me, wow, what a way to push me out of my comfort zone. And then I had a few moms that reached out to me and said, hey, I'm completely out of shape. I haven't felt like myself in years since I had the babies. And this gave me just what I needed to just push forward and get this started again. Right. So I think that's the thing, is just counting on those habits and counting on your community too. Because if you're going to try to do it on your own, I think it's a lot harder. So that's why having somebody to walk with you and having the accountability partner or having a coach or having a wellness consultant, that's what we do, to walk you through the path is you're more likely to have success and keep it up, right? So what has been your experience with habit creation?
I have been, I think because of my ADHD as a kid, I've always been active. I always found myself just getting depressed and not feeling myself unless I was doing some sort of exercise. And I think it started just, with myself again as a kid playing, outside, and then high school, got myself into sports. And then after high school, that was when I just started discovering things on my own. I learned, I could afford and take myself skiing, in the local mountains. This is, when I, growing up in Southern California, got into mountain biking after, in high school. And I just really started to feel good, getting my cardio fitness on. Back then I was doing step aerobics and, had a gym membership. And I think that having that foundation, I think I did it myself because my parents did not, my mom wasn't athletic or into fitness at all growing up. I mean, her diet consisted of Folgers instant coffee, and she would have a Danish for breakfast or coffee cake. So I definitely kind of carved my own path. And I think it was just because I always felt things and I would go by how I feel. I've never had a scale really in my life. I would eat and change my diet as necessary based on how I feel. And what I noticed was early on is if I ate junk, I would feel like crap, and it just, it's like, if you put bad gasoline in your car is going to run like crap, right? So I learned early on about, just investing in the right type of fuel for my body. And when doTERRA found me 10 years ago, I just, again, loved all of their, essential oils and how they made me feel. The oils help me relax. The supplements are great because they infuse them with essential oils. And now with the new system of the MetaPower and the metabolic wellness, that's such a buzzword right now, is focusing on metabolic health. And I just really feel that having, again, like Pam said, having that community of like-minded people is going to help you. Getting, having running partners, joining a running club, different things, just an outdoor club, getting in, gathering, finding your tribe. That is going to help you thrive and also help you with your fitness. And fitness is kind of like a byproduct of that. When you find your community, everything kind of falls into place, right? And I mean community of like-minded, individuals. So I love the
I
different
love all of that.
systems. Yeah, I love the different systems that, the MetaPower has come with, the 30-day challenge and all that. That just really, helps and inspires people.
Yeah, those are like the big ones right there that put on the comments. That's
Yeah.
basically what you just covered. Um, yeah, but then life happens. That's the like I say that every Monday, and then life happens. So that's why if you count on your habits, life still happens and you still go. How about you, Christina? How does that work for you?
Yeah, life happens. And it's funny. I've been talking to a lot of parents lately, and everyone's always like, "How's it going?" And we always say like, "Oh, a lot of big feelings going on lately." So I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if it's the celestial situation, Mercury retrograde, but there's lots of big feelings in the world right now. So we all have to be patient, and it's hard to work with that. But that's a habit too, right? Is to be be patient with everyone around you, and it's something that you definitely have to work on. That's for sure. Um, in terms of habits, as I mentioned, I have kids. I have a 7 and a 9-year-old, and it's very cool to, as a mom, help teach them habits that are not only for their life but for their health. So For example, the simple things of picking up after yourself to keep, like is in the comment right here, the house uncluttered, right? Because it takes a village for so many things in life, right? So in the household, it takes everybody working together for these habits to form of cleanliness. And another thing that we're working on is our habits of sleep, because that's another one that provokes big feelings when we don't have our sleep, right? And we have also been kind of talking about that the last couple of weeks. And we talk a lot about how kids need all these hours of sleep. Is so critical for their brain health, for their immunity, so many things sleep is really critical for. But um, we forget that even as we grow up into adulthood, the sleep is still critical. So we always say, oh, 5 hours, I'm good with 5 hours of sleep. Are you really? Are your hormonal levels okay? Is your immunity okay? Is like, so there's so many things once again. So you think everything's okay, but really deep down, maybe issues are starting. So we're working on healthy habits of sleep in our house as well. And of course, supplementation too, right? We're on this 30-day metabolic shift. My kids, it's really cool that when they see me taking care of myself, they want to take care of themselves. So they love taking the doTERRA multivitamin and probiotics. So, I mean, I think that's very important as parents or as just people of the earth to um, help share healthy things that we do, because especially if it's simple, and we can all start to slowly add these things to our life. So I think it's fulfilling to have these little healthy kicks and challenges to come together, because my tribe beyond the adult tribe is my little girls, so I'm teaching them.
I love that. And of course, creating habits, it's a very personal process too, because each of us are in a different space. We do different things in different ways, right? But one of the things that I've always told myself is to just be patient with myself. And then me giving myself that grace automatically makes me be in the position of doing that for other people too, right? Understanding that each person is unique. We all think differently. We all move differently. And then what I started doing was I started finding things that would be motivating to me, and I felt like I was being rewarded, which brings me to the other point of creation of habit, and one of the most effective ways to shift a habit. So I think it's one thing to create a habit, and it's a complete different thing to try to break a habit and create a new one, right? So when you shift the habit, I think you putting something else instead of it is a way of doing that. So, and then there's a loop, right? That's called the habit loop. So every time when I feel like now I have a successful routine, whatever successful means to you, but it means that it's sustainable and I can keep it up and I can still do it, even though some days I don't feel like it, right? Repetition is, I think, one of the main things. And if you keep consistent with the time that you do certain things, then it's less effort for your brain to think about the next thing that you need to do, because automatically your body knows what to do. It's kind of like that guy that we mentioned here a while ago on the biohacking. He takes like 70 pills a day of like supplementation, and he has everything laid out in a way that when he walks, his body talks. So he knows exactly what to do. So there's no effort from his brain to do things. So I think that was super. When I read about it, I was like, oh, that makes sense to me, because it's less effort. So then you're more inclined to create those triggers, and then you have the positive reward of getting to influence that habit forming, right? So the triggering, I think, is one of my biggest things, and that's one of the first things that I do with my clients is we're going to form a positive trigger with your most powerful sense, which is your smell. And yes, we work with the plants, we work with essential oils. And my positive trigger is as soon as I smell peppermint or breathe, which is a blend that we use for the respiratory system, or deep blue, which is a blend that we use especially if you're very active or if you have tension. And we have the deep blue stick that you can use for anywhere from MS to arthritis, anything to do with your joints or pain and discomfort. So the deep blue stick has copaiba in it too, and that's another essential oil that's extremely powerful, very anti-inflammatory. So anytime I have those smells, and I have it on right now, because right before we jumped into this live, here's my little magic box. We had a very interesting call, work call, and I had to step out and put some oils on to make myself kind of come back to my center. And that is a positive trigger. So as soon as I smelled Balance, which is a grounding blend, and it is full of trees and it makes you feel more rooted. So when I was in that meeting, I felt extremely anxious and not good at all. So I had to step out. I started crying. So I put Balance on, and that like in a matter of seconds, like about 30 seconds, I came back and I could breathe, and my heart rate was down. So I think the habit triggering is a super tool for our brain, especially because we're on autopilot, right? So the autopilot before I had tools like this would be to be in that motion, in that emotion for a long time. Sometimes maybe days, sometimes, I don't know, weeks, depending, and hold that grudge for a long time. So once I learned the triggers and how to get over it faster, because life is so short. So if you stay cooking that for that much long, like that such a long time, you're going to get sick. And that's what happened to me. So I'm not going to do that again. So I know what to do to kind of create that habit loop, right? This is one of my habit loops. I go to my box when I know that, hey, I need help right now and I need help fast. So positive triggers, if you're creating a habit, I would say action triggers. I would go for mints. Anything with mint will wake you up, will make you more alert. And anything with citrus will kind of rise your energy levels, right? Because of that connection with the limonene and serotonin. It will kick in your, okay, let's get moving, endorphins kicking up, and then you feel good. And that is the reward. So get with mints and citrus for that trigger of action. That's one of my first tips for you to put that habit loop in action.
In my diffuser right now, I have the citrus twist and peppermint in my diffuser, just as you were talking about.
Yeah.
And
we
how
have
cool
that.
the mist diffuser, that the new mist diffuser that I think is actually unavailable without this purchase, but for people who may be interested in this nice smell and scenting your home, there is a very special kit that offers citrus smells with a nice kind of plug-in poof poof type of motion detector diffuser. I don't know how to describe it any other way. But besides the citrus one, there's like a forest grounding blend one too. So if you're interested in that, let us know and we'll reach out and give you more info. But man, that olfactory connection is huge.
Yes. And that's what we did on Saturday, right, Teddy? I used the blend
Yes.
Shirin-yoku. We have the blend in Japan called Morinoto, which is similar. It's not the exact same, but that's the same blend, the forest bathing experience. And I mentioned that on Saturday. It's, here in Hawaii, we're lucky to have greenery all around. You have mountains, you have the ocean, you have sunlight. But some places you don't have any of that. And sometimes it reminds me of my grandma every time I talk about it, because she was not bed bound 100%, but she was limited in where she could go. So she rarely came out of her house in the last years of her life. And so we brought that experience to her. She loved Balance. So she would ask for Balance. And Balance is also a forest bathing type of blend because of all the trees. and Deep Blue. Those were her two favorites, and Copaiba too. So, and just thinking that, maybe some folks can't leave, can't get up, they're limited in their where they can go, and we're lucky we can get up and start walking, but that's not the reality of everyone, right? So you just bring that experience to you. Another setting too is, I used to say this a lot in my classes. It's like when you are, because I was in corporate, so, and I know that just like today I was in this meeting, but I have the flexibility of being in my own office, and I can just walk out and do my thing. Even if I wanted to jump in the ocean, I could. But when you're in an office setting, sometimes one of the things that you can do that is the fastest thing is to breathe. But sometimes just breath alone is not something you've dominated, and that is hard to bring your heart rate back down and start breathing deep. Again, that can be a tool. You put a drop on your hand and automatically you calm down. I have a few people that I know that have fallen in love with a balance, because one of them, she was in a situation in a car where she had to think fast. So she got that panic attack, anxiety, feeling coming on, and she automatically just grabbed the balance and put it on, and she was able to calm down and think straight and be able to move forward with what she needed to do in that moment in the car, right? So sometimes you have those little tools there to help you out. So in an office setting, I feel like it's so ideal. So if you have just a little drop there, sometimes you can just like, okay, cool, now I'm back, so I can go on with doing what I need to do. One of the things that I love that we created a while ago during the pandemic is the ebook called Essential Glow. And the ebook is specifically on habit creation. So if you want access to that ebook, you can talk to any of us. We have that. And it's basically teaching you how to do small things. And we call it self-care, but it's habit creation for you to feel good. So it's based too on that Miracle Morning book. Al spoke at our leadership this year, and I feel like it's such a game changer for you to get going right first thing in the morning. So first thing before you even get out of your bed, you do peppermint and frankincense. You do the thumb stamp on the roof of your mouth. That's connect your brain. You're up and alert. Then you go ahead and just start drinking some water, and it's all in the ebook. So we put like really specific things that will get you going in the morning. Take your supplements, get your sleep first, right? Get good sleep, take your supplements, and it's all in the ebook. Maybe if you live in a state where you have a lot of sunshine, walk a little bit in the sunshine, breathe before you get out of onto your routine, sweat. So all these things are in there. So then pick 2 or 3 things out of the ebook, get that started, and then you move on to adding 3 more. Because for some of us, doing these things are so natural, but for a lot of us, it's not. So if it's too much, you just start with 2, start with 1, but start with something, right? And then eventually, I think the peak of it is, let's meditate. Look, that's a lot to ask, right? But there is a way for you to get that in easily if you have positive triggers that make you go into that space. And for me, I would say balance is one of my favorites for that. But I recently started, because I do sound healing here at the studio, for the studio once a month, and Blue Lotus has been one of the ones that I put in a little dropper, and then I drop on everybody's hands, and we do meditation with that. So it's a new one. I just added that into my routine this year. How about you? What do you do for that?
I actually, the Blue Lotus oil, I have actually been using it on my face with other essential oils of frankincense and rose and some other floral and wood oils. And I just really like it's a very subtle scent, that Blue Lotus, but I feel like it's very hydrating to the skin as well. And the emotional benefits, are huge too, right? Maybe Christina can kind of cover some of that emotional side of the Blue Lotus if you want.
Yeah, the Blue Lotus, that's a really great one to use in those types of situations or meditation experiences, because it is the oil of awakening, and it helps all of us explore higher realms, right? And so um, when when you're looking to help facilitate a higher level of consciousness or radiating the beauty from inside out and feeling that divine love, then Blue Lotus is really a great one to do. And the negative emotions that it helps get rid of and release is spiritually stagnancy, blocked intuition, feeling lost, bitter, resentful, numb, apathetic. So all of these types of negative emotions you can just really help release with the use of Blue Lotus and some other oils as well. But that's a great one for that. Very powerful.
Yeah, and it stimulates too on the like the beauty side. It stimulates collagen production also for your
Yes.
skin. So you get a little side benefit there. That's another cool thing, right? About using these are like smart cosmetics too. And we did
Totally.
talked about it on Saturday, and I was so happy that some of the professionals that I was with, they didn't know this, and one of them came up to me after and said, "Hey, so me wearing this perfume is really not that good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not really that good." Because Dr. Carly spoke on it, and it does the opposite of what you want it to do. A
Right.
lot of like hormone disruption and all this stuff that you can
Yep.
get a little bit more technical on, but just knowing that, like plastic does that too. So you can get rid of plastic, stop drinking out of
Yeah.
plastic, eating out of plastic, which is quite hard to do, but it's, totally possible. Um,
Yes. The
so,
synthetic, the
uh-huh.
synthetic fragrance. Yeah. The synthetic fragrance industry, or actually, I've heard it called big fragrance.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
fragrance. Yeah. Big fragrance is, you know, we have to educate people on the dangers of the big fragrance industry.
Hmm.
Yes.
I went to a doctor appointment last week and I walked into the waiting room and I said to my daughter, like, oh, do they have plugins here now? Like, because there was just this aroma that was very, for me, unpleasant, because I'm sensitive to smell. And it occurred to me that I think it was the aroma coming from the gentleman who was sitting in the waiting room and his clothes from
Oh, wow.
his laundry situation. So that's a lot, guys. So just keep that in mind. If your clothes smell that much, the whole room is making it the fragrance, very strong, then imagine what it's doing to your actual body. That's crazy.
Yeah, it happened to me on Saturday too. Somebody just gave me a hug, and then I could smell myself for the rest of the day.
Yes, it comes on you. Yes. Oh, like now you have to go take a shower.
Yeah. Well, it's not good for me. Sometimes, it's fine, but like walking through like duty free or perfume places, oh, intense. It's an intense experience. Or the cleaning aisles. We still walk through it, still smell it, but you notice it now, right? Or the smell on the cup that has been washed with that super blue detergent. You're like, whoa, I'm drinking detergent right now. But I think you only get to that point once you start noticing and you start switching, because it
When
doesn't
you
bother people until they start noticing, until they're like, oh,
exactly.
now I
Yeah,
recognize it, because your body's like, okay, I work better with this. It's
right.
so it's so interesting, right? Because for Luke, for my husband, it doesn't even phase him. It didn't. And then we just went on a trip, and he noticed it. He goes, wow, the detergent is strong, right? I'm like, yeah. Sebastian notices it. Sebastian is 4. So if there's like a very strong smell that is not, he says it's okay. He goes, it kind of smells too good. That's his way of explaining, that's like
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
the
Too
smell that I'm
good.
used
Yeah.
to. It's like it smells too good.
Yeah. Oh,
It's so cute. So giving continuation to this habit forming thing, and I think this is something that we can bring on stage right now, which is super cool, and it has a lot to do with habit creation, right? This is Teddy, so Teddy's on there. So Teddy, we need an updated picture, because maybe
Yes.
that video went
Yes.
way up now. You
Well,
can
and
you can get your BBL.
I can, yes, I can actually say that I've gone down a size.
Oh
And
my
and again,
goodness.
my weight hasn't really changed, but things are just, my shape is changing. And I've been tracking, I have a Garmin watch, so there's a lot of data if you're data driven. And I've definitely have decreased my fitness age, according to the app. It's all based on algorithm and, body mass and, weight and your, fitness activities and all that. But yeah, I love it because it just, it inspires me even more to work on decreasing my fitness age, and then it's got a VO2 max. Like if you're into, the VO2 max thing, some of the athletes and bicyclists are all into the VO2 max. My VO2 max is improving. I'm in the top 15% as far as VO2 max. Yeah,
That's amazing.
for my age and gender. So yeah,
That is
that's
so
really
cool. I want to be like you when I grow up, Teddy. That's goals. Teddy also has 3 kids. They're all in college
yeah.
now, out of the house. One is working, and this is
Two
it's
working, yeah,
2 are
two
working already.
working, yeah,
Wow. I
an
remember when they're
adult too.
still little
So
ones.
yeah,
And this is in Portuguese. Antes e depois is before and after. And mine, I need to do an updated one now because my muscle mass went way up now. But also I've been
yeah,
doing the training at F45, which I love F45. So if you're looking for a place where you can have a concise fitness program to get started and you don't have to think, because it's kind of like having the setting of having a personal trainer, but in a group setting, which I love because I love community. I love to be with people. I love to get to know where we live, who are the people that are part of this community. So I feel like F45 is like the perfect spot for people that are looking to get motivated and also create a habit with some accountability because you have the people that usually you see at the same time, right? So I love that. So mine wasn't so much, I didn't lose any measurements, but everything kind of lifted. There was this thing now that people asked me about. You know what BBL is? Bubble butt lift. I don't know if I can say it. Let's call it BBP. It's bubble butt perk.
Yeah.
You can do, but it's an augmentation, right? That it's been people are going crazy with it. I received some photos. I'm like, whoo,
Some
that
people
is
take it too
insane.
far.
Yeah, well, you do you, girl.
Yeah,
You do
exactly.
that. Whatever makes you happy. But hey, you can have that in natural ways, doing it in a different way. So for me, it was like having a a lift, but with the habits and the this is what we did with Meta Power. So Meta Power is the system that we use, and I'm bringing this up. The reason being is this is a trigger. This is a positive trigger. That's one. So this was a positive trigger for a lot of my moms that are my clients, and it was a positive trigger they needed for the action. So, and if that is something that's where you feel like, hey, if I have a trigger, if I have something that makes me move, then I go and I get it done. And that's what happened to Paulina too. And she was not very keen into doing like kinds of exercises that are a little bit more intense, but now she is, and she's loving it, and it changes. Susanna too, Susanna Maya, she comes here sometimes, right, on Mondays. So for them it's been a game changer. And also this is the program. So we do the 30-day cleanses, we do the 30-day metabolic resets, we do now 30-day summer body and mind. And that's not just about your body, it's about how you feel more than about what you look like. And that is the goal of the body summer and mind. And I'm going to share with you the material that we use for that. And this is what we share with our customers. So I'm going to have to share my screen fully so you can see everything because I couldn't upload it into the this
So as you're
one.
doing that, I just wanted to talk about this collagen and the MetaPower system. Um, the MetaPower system is many different steps, but the collagen is a huge part, and Pam's going to be pulling up her information. But as you saw in the photographs, collagen does so much for so many different areas of the body, right? It tightens up your skin. It helps you release unwanted fat cells. It helps hydrate you. It um, helps you sleep better. It helps your nails and hair grow healthier. So you can see for many different people, there's lots of different positive effects and positive healthy changes that happen. And that's why it's so good for such a wide variety of people, especially moms and people who have maybe dedicated themselves to their work for too long and sit at office all day and can't move as much. And you notice as time goes on, your body is affected. Well, this is a great system. There's a lot of people talking about that one diabetic drug, Ozempic, and now it's coming out how really kind of scary some of the things are happening to people who have been taking it. And so this is a great system that is way better than these, prescription meds. It's healthy, it's natural, and it's the as we just saw in the photographs, the results sell
It's real,
themselves.
and it's sustainable. The thing about, like, if you try to do, I have so many friends in Brazil, that because that is a very common thing to do in Brazil. And
Easy way
yes,
out.
you get the result in a month, but then in the following months you lose the results, and you actually go back like 10
Right.
steps behind when from
Yeah.
when you started. So, does it give you results? It might, but it also comes with a price. Any Just like any other shortcut, there's no shortcut. And I even say this when it comes to building any business, especially our business, what we do as wellness consultants. There's no shortcut to do this. You have to go through each step, and it might take longer because in my case, I feel like every time I say this, and it's true, is I don't have any special talents. I'm consistent, and I show up and I work hard. So, and that takes longer. So if I had like a super talent of like building this huge network of people all at once, because that's how some people do it, I don't have that. If you have all the tools to do everything online and do this accelerated ways of um, getting all of it at once, I don't have that. But it still works. So the shortcuts will have the everything will have a price. And what I've seen from being here for over a decade is every time you take a shortcut, the price comes back, and it's not. You don't want to pay that price. It's not worth it. So I feel like it's worth for you to keep consistent and keep sustainable, and don't take the shortcut. Shortcut usually will get you the result fast, but then you will go out the door at just as fast, right? So you want that to stay, you want that to be sustainable. And this is the 30 days. So we haven't done this full one. So first month of the year in January, we did the metabolic reset. So we used the MetaPower system. Then we are now doing what we call the microbiome reset, which is basically the foundations for wellness, plus some other supplements that work on cleansing, doing more like geared towards like a detox cleanse type of program. And this is a 30-day habit building routine for you to have it down with supplementation. So you meet all your nutrition needs, you're moving, your metabolic health is up to speed, you're resting well, because it's not just about sleeping some hours, it's about the quality of that sleep. And we're going to get the Serenity sleep system back in stock at the end of this month, which I'm very excited about. And reducing toxic load, then you start paying attention to not only the body that you're carrying 24 hours a day, but what's around you too. You change the things you do at home, you change the routine of your family, you inspire your family to live the lifestyle too, right? So whatever you do now, it's what they're going to carry on later. So all of these parts of the routine, we're going to be interacting in the group, and it's all optional, obviously, right? I like to be part of groups, so I always tell everybody, add me to the group, because I like to be part of that, because it's a constant reminder of you're not doing this by yourself, right? There is a tracker as well that you can build for your own routine here. And again, do you have to do all of the things? You do not. Okay, everything is just an option, right? So you can You can do it or you don't have to. Okay, so very, very simple. So this is one of the daily habits tracker. And then we have this is the one, the Meta Power one that is a little bit more full because it is a 30-day metabolic support plus the foundation. So, and the reason being is you already have this on the daily foundational habits. So, this is a little bit more thorough type of program. So, you can learn as you go, and you only take time, about 10 minutes of your time, to go over each quiz and the lesson of the day, what we do that day. So then it gives you a way for you to go one day at a time, so it's not everything at once and you don't feel overwhelmed. Yeah, because the moment you start feeling overwhelmed, this whole thing is out the door. So day by day, you do a weekly check-in, and we're going to be doing and sharing this in the group. Okay, and you learn as you go, and you learn as you go, and I like that. I like the fact that you can learn and execute at the same time, so you save time like that, and then you get the reward faster, so you're more likely to stick to the program. Okay, so that's the material that we're going to be using for our summer body and mind. And the summer body and mind will start on the 15th of next month. So it gives us time to reset from the reset that we just did, and we have 15 days to gear up for the next 30 days. So we'll go from May 15th to June 15th, and I wanted to end it right in the beginning of summer because we do things, right? So if you're going to go for your summer vacation, you can still keep it up for a couple of weeks and still keep some of these habits as you go through summer. And yeah, so I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. Summer Body and Mind Challenge
Yes,
starts on May
that is
15th.
exciting.
I heard a really cool quote, and it says, "Your summer body starts in the winter." And that's what we've
Yeah,
been doing. If you've been following us since January, we've been doing these challenges every month or, 6 weeks.
yeah.
And that's what we're trying to help you with, is prepping your body for the summer during the winter time and clearing you out, detoxing you, getting your health and mental health up to par or better than it started. And so that's what we're here for. I love
Yeah,
it.
and I think
Yeah.
also summer bodies all year long, like every single day. It's your body.
There's a
Love
little
on it.
little
Love on
pressure.
it.
Yeah, there's a little pressure here in Hawaii to have a summer body
Or
all year
not.
long.
I mean,
So
what is a summer body? You know how to have
yeah,
a summer body? Step number one, have a body. That's it.
yeah.
Like,
Summer
Feel
this way,
healthy.
summer that way.
Feel happy. That's, I think, the key.
yeah, just love on your body. It's a beautiful, perfect body.
Love
And
where you're at.
yes, it's
You only
awesome.
you only have one body, so honor it.
Yes, and it's awesome. I love my post pregnancy, post kids body. And yeah, it was a process to learn how to love it, but I didn't waste too much time. Like I have a body and I'm so happy and so grateful. So let's work on that body. That's why it's not only body, it's body and mind. And we'll talk about this body positive energy and approach, and how, yeah, the community again, when we come together, like loving on ourselves, and we can expand that love outwards as well. Well, thank you so much. This is time. So thank you so much for being here. We'll be sending more info on our challenge for May soon, as we end our challenge for this month. And we have one last giveaway on Sunday. So if you are in our WhatsApp group, get on that group for you to be able to be part of the challenge. And the challenge is for you to plank. That is the extra challenge within the challenge. So you do little planks, tag my stories, and you enter to end the giveaway on Sunday. Teddy and
Awesome.
Christina, I love you girls. Thank you so
Love
much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Did
Aloha.
you say that
you.
Bye.
again? Do it again. Bye.